Hello. So I have a reading today for the energies of the full moon that's happening on Sunday. So it's going to be a full moon in Leo. And that's interesting because we are in Aquarius season and Leo is actually the opposite of, they're opposites of each other. So it's interesting that the moon is in Leo and the sun is in Aquarius. It's almost like there's some, so I did a little bit of research regarding this full moon, and pretty much these are my notes, and I'm just gonna go over them. So there seems to be some, for some, right? There's gonna be some confrontation, especially when it comes to intimate relationships, and it does feel like it's more towards the romantic side, but obviously you could take it as it doesn't have to be romantic for everybody. It's a collective reading, so but it does feel like that because everything that I kept researching just led me back to the moon and the sun and how they're lovers, and there's this myth around that, right? So that's what kept coming up for me. Also, I have to mention it's going to really be a powerful full moon for fixed signs. So that is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And it's interesting that those two signs that are fixed signs are obviously part of that. And they're the ones that are being reflected in the moon and the sun and in this full moon. Something else that I wrote down for some reason was a little poem that I saw regarding the sun and the moon. I'm just going to read it because it might resonate for some of you. There's a reason why there's a theme about like balance or yin and yang, like the sun and the moon, they complement each other. Maybe they're not in the sky at the same time for us, anyways, but they are out there at the same time, if you will, right? And they, what is it? It's like a give and take. There's a balance between them. So it says, tell me a story about how the sun loved the moon so much he died every night to let her breathe. So we're gonna start with that. I think that's a great sentiment to start with. It almost speaks to like it. I don't know, if you love something, let it go kind of thing. There might be some relationships here that are going to be having heart to heart conversations, it feels like. And then being a full moon, I would say energies are a little, amplified, if you will. Emotions may be amplified. Emotions are ruled by water, right? Especially in tarot. So if you think about it, the moon controls the tides, and the tides are tied to water, and it's like, okay, so the emotional body is like, I don't want to say turmoil, but it is kind of like being pulled to the forefront. And I think that there's like a warning, or more of like, hey, be careful with how you just allow your emotions to take over. It's the time to reflect a little bit. Maybe when it comes to that, especially if you're circling around having a deep conversation or something that's very serious or that could get heated, or it could be triggering for a relationship, maybe don't do it around this time. Wait, I am feeling the energy of the moon already. Usually the full moons, you will feel it 2 days before and 2 days after. So I would say that conversation, if you can postpone it until maybe Wednesday of next week, it will do you nicely. Okay, if there's something, obviously there's an issue that you need to address right now, obviously don't postpone it. But take it if it resonates. If there's this, what is it, if there's a triggering or a very intense emotional communication or discussion that you need to have, especially with a romantic partner, they're asking you here to kind of work it with yourself first before you kind of bring it to the other person or something like that. All right, let's start the reading. Let's see what this full moon is bringing for us. Six of Cups. Interesting. So there are some of you that are, I want to say, extending a love offer to someone from the past, maybe a soulmate, a past life, from a past life, or from this life, from your past in general. So some of you could be in the giving end of this, some of you could be in the receiving end of this. Also, some of you are doing some inner child healing as well. Well, okay. See, this is that energy that I was saying, like, because this is the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, right? It's so some kind of communication for some of you could be a little triggering. It could make you pull your walls up again, just because of who it's coming from. I'm hearing, but also the topic that's being discussed, or I don't know. It's I'm hearing like fair warning. You've been warned. The moon, interesting. But I'm seeing a resolution as well, and something that's not just a resolution, but well, it is a resolution, but it's a very grounded one. It's like a sound judgment, if you will, is what I'm seeing with the King of Pentacles. That's interesting. It's really interesting. Wow, another cup and a page. You see that offer? It's like an energy trying to offer you something, especially like it could be emotional stability, because the six makes me think of equal give and take. But then you could be a little bit put off by this. It could be a little bit triggering, probably possibly because you've moved on. But at the same time, it's like you look at this opportunity with a sense of wonder and again childlike, because the pages are like children. That's interesting that I brought up inner child healing over there. Maybe someone from the past did trigger some kind of emotional inner child healing for you, and this full moon might be bringing that person around for some of you. That's really interesting that this reading turned into that. Oof, yeah. So there was conflict in the past, but I think there's with the Five of Swords. I heard someone the other day describe this card as, so it is after a bottle, but it is someone picking up the weapon so that they cannot be used again. And that's really interesting. That's an interesting way of seeing this. It's like they're not picking the swords up to kind of like go at it again. It's more of like, you know what I mean? That communication, that conversation that needed to happen happened. And maybe the full moon is trying to anchor in the changes that needed to be made, or trying to do away with, right, with like what no longer serves this relationship that it's being highlighted here. And I am seeing that it really does have to do with romance for a lot of the collective here. For some reason, that's what's coming through. But for others of you, it could be family. Again, it could be family for sure because of the inner child healing. It could be parents that you're kind of you're laying to rest. You're putting your weapons away. I think you're going to be finding some equilibrium when it comes to past hurts, and you're gonna start anew. Like it's going to be like a clean slate for some of you in regards to this. Yeah, wow. But now we have divine counterparts here, so I have to circle back. Wow, I have to circle back to the love story kind of thing. The fact that we have a rabbit here and it's the year of the rabbit as well, how significant and how interesting. Because the king is depicted like in a city environment, and the queen is depicted in a nature environment. And that's what that says to me. Maybe the miscommunication between you two has been in regards to, some of you are very grounded, but you're not grounded in like the 3D kind of environment, in the sense of like the hustle culture or whatever, what the aspect of the pentacles, right? You're more seeking for abundance when it comes to spiritual growth, a lot of healing as well, because pentacles do have to do with your health as well. And here I'm seeing is emotional, mental health, right? But for some reason, the King of Pentacles, they're addressing, they're your equal, but they're at what is it? they achieve this in a different way from you, and maybe that was the disconnect in the past. Them being in a city, it makes me think, okay, so they really value maybe a different style of life, if you will. Maybe that's kind of like a decision that has to be made here. I'm hearing compromise, but not in a bad way. It again, it leads me back to the Six of Cups. It's like you accept the offer, and then it's almost like you give it back as well. It's interesting. It's interesting. In your own way, in your own unique way, you both kind of accept this cup, if you will. And it could be like an opportunity to change the dynamic here. Wow, the Fool being the next card. Nine of Swords. This is going to be a side message here because I just want to see something. Okay, that's interesting. And Strength. Holy crap. Okay. And the Devil? Wow. A lot of major arcana here now in the second row. That's interesting. 3 back to back, 4 in total. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, you guys were bound in the past by maybe something, again, what's no longer serving you in this relationship anymore. It seems to be, it's like judgment. It's like the divine is stepping in, really supporting you with strength here, right? It seems like the person, if you identify with being a feminine energy or a divine feminine, if you will, you might be this Queen of Pentacles, and she's being supported here by strength, by the universe, to break these chains that maybe have kept you in a lot of anguish and like anxiety in the past. And it's like a new beginning, the Fool, the Page, you know? You're in your element in Leo. Oh my God, I just got that. This is Leo, and we have a Leo full moon. I would say you're going to be in your element because of the Queen of Wands, right? She reminds me of, oh my God, the Knight of Cups. She reminds me of Leo because it is fire sign, but just the sunflower reminds me of Leo as well. The two lions, the lions, wow. It's like the kitty and the lion. It's interesting. You almost you're almost being the Queen of Pentacles here, the feminine energy here. It's almost being supported and yeah, really supported in order to break away from what it feels like it's because of the Nine of Swords being there. I'm gonna move on to oracles, but because of the Nine of Swords, it makes me think. Okay, so it's helping you to step away from anxiety. A lot of the chains that keep you bound to perhaps what is it? A different version of this relationship that's trying to die, in the sense of it's trying to either literally die, like it's an ending to it, or uh, dying in the sense of rejuvenating it into something new. And for a lot of you, it feels like it is turning into something new. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Okay, that could be also a lesson that's around this relationship. And again, my intention was not to make this a relationship reading, but it just, it had that connotation and it had that tone when I was doing my research anyways, because it led me to that, to like the sun and the moon. Again, different energies, right? The sun and the moon, different energies, but at the same time, they want to accomplish the same things. You just approach it in a different way, and that's okay. The divine is saying it's almost like the resolution to all of this is accepting that both of you have something unique to bring to this relationship, if you will. Now I'm seeing it completely different. Wow. Now I'm seeing it like a split. It's almost like this is them, even after being hurt, this is them offering this, right? because they're in this energy. And this is you. I feel like I'm reading for this one, but this is you, even after this, offering this cup, right? Why? Because you're in this energy, and you're in the divine feminine, and they're in the divine masculine energy. Now I'm putting it like this because that makes a lot of sense. Wow. That makes a lot of sense. And this could also be something that, again, because it leads me back to inner healing as well. This could also have to do with your own masculine, divine, feminine energy within you that you're trying to balance and trying to. So I just saw inner child healing and teenage years kind of healing, right? Because it never ends. Honestly, when you're in a healing journey, it's like you start with child, and then you're a teenager, and then you have to go into your early 20s, and then depending on how old you are, you even have to like go year by year and like trying to kind of bring forgiveness and acceptance and love into those parts of you. I'm hearing they serve you well. I like how this message just keeps transforming into something else. But they're saying your walls have served you long enough. Your protection, we understand it because you've been hurt in the past. There's been a lot of conflict, inner conflict, outside conflict, just conflict in general. Your feelings have been hurt a lot. We understand, they're saying. But it's like you got to look at how much you still have love to give even after this. That's kind of like the what is it? That's what you should be taking away from this. And if this is a relationship that's coming to an end, because you are different people now, right? It does seem like different people for some reason. It's okay too. Everything comes to an end, and it's almost like whatever whatever space this moon is trying to make is because there's better and beautiful things coming in, okay? Wow, happiness. Yeah. So I'm aware that being happy means I am in the right path, correct? Exactly. So stay connected to the energy of love, to the flow of love, and make sure that you use your happiness as a guiding, what is it? As a compass, if you will. So if you're happy and you're enjoying what you're doing, who you're with, and everything like that, you're on the right path. I just want to show you the bottom of the deck. Surrender. I can release my need to control. Maybe that's part of what you're surrendering with this full moon. You're allowing it to help you surrender. And I know that can be really hard to do. So that whole, let love, let God kind of thing, it's easier said than done sometimes. All right. Let's see what else is coming forth for the collective. All right. Wow. Power, number 11, synchronistic, divine counterparts here. Power, wise women of the grove, and grace. There's like a gift here. Again, there's something being offered to a lot of this collective. It being red, it almost looks like a heart to me, like a ruby or something. It really does. It really does. This looks like a full moon to me as well. Dragon and power. Well, yeah, your power comes from that flow of love, if you will, right? And grace comes along with forgiveness. You give yourself grace, you give grace to others. And it's like your heart opens. It's like this chest just literally, the fact that it's a chest, and then like your heart is in your chest, right, if you will. It's like it cracks open. How beautiful. At the bottom of the deck, focus. Wizard of the Woods. Um, you know, I'm getting sidetracked. Let me not. Let me not. All right. Let's see what else. Interesting. Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Some of you are diving into some kind of newness, okay? I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but it does feel like you are, you're diving into some kind, this is like a side message. You're diving into some kind of, well, there's soul growth to be had, but it's almost like this full moon is like taking obstacles away that were preventing you from getting to point A to point B, if you will. It's like unlocking some dormant power of yours, and they're advising you to use it with grace, because there's some kind of what is it? There's like a step forward that you're taking. Oh wow. Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Okay, so that what's okay for going from point A to point B, in the middle here we have the conflict, right? Because we have beautiful energies here. But in the middle there's the conflict, and there's the being hurt, and kind of staying in by holding on. And I'm seeing the 10 of Wands where it's not yours to carry, let it go. It kind of thing, like it's time to like get the weight off your shoulders, if you will. Maybe you're called to go to the ocean, to the beach in general, be in water, around water. Because you know how she's diving in? It's like you're diving into water. Is significant, definitely. Water is significant. Your emotions are very significant here. So it's like the blockages, the things that were blocking certain things from coming into your life, it's like they're being poofed away by this full moon. They're working themselves out, if you will. The fact that I couldn't get that out. They are working themselves out, is what I'm hearing. That's really interesting. Okay. Let me do some Moonology. And then I think I'll do one of the unicorn oracles, and we're gonna finish this up. All right. This is full moon bringing. You're good enough. Full moon in Virgo. Okay. There is some, maybe you're working on self-esteem as well. Maybe this conflict has brought you the conflict itself has been affecting your self-esteem, if you will. Again, I'm seeing you rise from all of that, though. Regardless of what is going on here, it's like you end up with in a king and queen energy. You can't ignore that. Wow, nothing yet is set in stone. The fact that we have water here, and it's like the tides, right? Interesting. It almost looks like what she is diving into, right? It's like you're diving into change regardless of, you're ready for the challenge. Because yeah, we had judgment, and we had strength, and then we had the devil. So it's like you're ready for the challenge that is unlocking your, now I'm seeing your psyche for some of you, because water makes me think of the psyche, if you will, as well. Interesting. Interesting. A new romantic cycle begins. Yeah, I was picking up on that before too, right? where it's, oh my God, you're not going to believe this, but this is the bottom of the deck. Don't let your pride get in the way. I think it's this energy right here, and this might be tied into the devil, where it's like your pride is, it's almost like what keeps you harboring like resentment and stuff. But it's time to just let that go and come from a place of love. Like if this person, if this is tied to a romantic thing for you, and for a lot of you it is, if you see that it's going to be like the offer coming towards you, right, seems like a balanced one and you're happy with it, why not give it a shot? Don't let your pride get in the way. Don't let your past get in the way. Don't let the resentment, or maybe the past things that have happened here, the things that are going to be discussed, that are, quite frankly, could be very triggering. Again, that came through even when I was doing my research, that it was going to be some kind of triggering communication, because of the opposition of just, the sun being in Aquarius, the moon being in Leo. It's like, and it's a full moon in Leo. I couldn't get more synchronistic than this. So pay attention to that for some of you who are dealing with some kind of romantic thing. You're going to have to approach this from a place of love, from a place of a lot of grace and understanding. Keep your heart open, okay? It's not, they're saying it's it's not to hurt you if things do not work out how you, I guess, wanted to, or something like that. But for a lot of you it is. You're seeing each other in the, as alike, right? Just in a different way. You approach things differently, and it's almost like celebrate your differences. Celebrate your differences from the past as well. You're going to get through the differences that you've had in the past. That's interesting as well. All right. Let's do the unicorn. And I might read from the book just because, oh, okay, well, I only want one card, and I don't want to, for them to be flipping over. So let's see. I have to mention too, 27 could be very significant for some of you, because I've been seeing 27 is on my timer right now. I've been seeing 27 for so many times today. I don't know why I said that's so weird. I've been seeing 27 so many times today. I saw it in my timer when I had put a timer in the morning. It just so happens that I glanced up on my phone. It was 27:27. I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I saw it when I took a drive in the morning because I had some errands to do. 27. I saw it a lot as well. And then when I picked up my iPad to put music and then put my timer to record, my last timer, I stopped it at, and I kid you fucking not, 27:27:07. So 27 is significant. I don't know why that's coming to mind now, but it is. Also, the number 7 in general, the number 9 could be significant. Interesting. All right. Goddess. Honor your divine feminine energy. See your inner beauty. Love every part of you. There definitely is some integration of divine masculine, divine feminine energy for a lot of you. There's also some of you, again, I felt like I was reading for the divine feminine here. Some of you have to stay in this energy, okay? You're ready to receive. You're in your element. Enjoy the fact that this moon is like clearing away obstacles for you, especially around your heart and your emotions, resentment, and it's bringing happiness. It's like bringing in good things. I just realized we have dolphins in water here, and water has been such a significant theme throughout. It's time to honor yourself. Just want to show you the bottom of the deck as well. Trust. Leap into the unknown, have faith, and move forward. Believe you can fly. I think that has to do with this communication, or this clearing of old stagnant energy that is happening for you in some kind of relationship. It could be happening within you. Regardless, this full moon is really bringing in true full moon form, right? It's bringing change, and it's bringing a clearing of energies. It's almost like it's wiping the slate clean for a lot of us, and it's kind of like giving us a new perspective, if you will. We're meant to kind of take in this lesson, as a lesson, right? As a lesson in letting go, if you will, literally, like setting up boundaries where you need to, letting go where you need to, and knowing what's yours and what's not. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Beautiful energy. Okay, I hope you have an amazing weekend and you enjoy this full moon, and I'll see you in the next one.